If you are holding back on buying a new drone right now, stop everything you are doing and listen very carefully to every single word of this video, because everything we thought we knew about ultralight aerial cinematography is about to be completely rewritten. For the past several months, whisper networks, internal factory supply chain manifests, and leaked hardware blueprints have been pointing toward a single device, the DJI Mini 6 Pro. And if even half of these leaked specifications turn out to be true, DJI isn't just releasing another incremental upgrade. They are launching a device that blurs the absolute line between consumer toys and Hollywood-grade cinema gear, all while keeping that magic sub-249-gram weight limit that keeps us legally safe from heavy regulatory nightmares. Let that sink in for a moment. Cinema-quality performance packed into a frame lighter than your average smartphone. But how is this even possible? How can a drone small enough to fit inside the palm of your hand potentially outclass heavy, expensive professional rigs that cost 3 times as much? Today, we are diving deep into the massive leaks surrounding the DJI Mini 6 Pro. We are breaking down the rumored sensor technology, the shocking battery breakthroughs, the reality of the American regulatory landscape, and whether you should freeze your upgrade plans or pull the trigger on the current generation right now. Let us start with the elephant in the room, because whenever DJI drops a new Pro model, the first question everyone asks is about the camera. For years, creators have wrestled with the physical limitations of smaller sensors. We loved the Mini series for its portability, but let us be honest, low-light performance always forced us to compromise. Grainy shadows, crushed highlights, and annoying rolling shutter artifacts during fast cinematic pans were the price we paid for a lightweight backpack. Not anymore, if the factory leaks are accurate. Word from supply chain insiders suggests that DJI is attempting to cram a massive stacked CMOS sensor into the Mini 6 Pro frame. We are talking about a true 1-inch sensor architecture engineered with stacked die technology. Why does this matter to you? Because a stacked sensor radically increases data readout speeds. It practically eradicates the dreaded rolling shutter effect when you are banking hard past tree lines or sweeping low over a coastline. More importantly, a larger surface area means photon collection goes through the roof. Night shots that used to look like muddy digital soup could now clean up with pristine, crisp clarity, pulling shadow details out of the dark that older mini drones couldn't even dream of registering. But it gets wilder. The absolute crown jewel of these camera leaks isn't just the sensor size, it is the introduction of a mechanical variable aperture. Think about how traditional drone filming works right now. You are out in the field, clouds roll in, the sun blasts through, and you are constantly landing, unscrewing tiny ND filters, swapping glass, and praying you don't drop a filter into the dirt or lose a lens cap in high grass. It is tedious, frustrating, and it kills your creative momentum. Leaked internal documents suggest the Mini 6 Pro is slated to feature a physical, mechanical variable aperture ranging from roughly f/1.7 all the way down to f/11. Pause and think about what that means for your workflow. On-the-fly light control right from your controller sticks. Dialing in your shutter angle manually without messing around with external glass. Total mastery over your depth of field in a micro-drone body. If DJI pulls this off, it eliminates the need for ND filters in 90% of shooting environments, fundamentally changing how fast you can adapt when chasing fast-moving light during golden hour. And then there is the resolution. We have gotten comfortable with 4K, but the industry is shifting fast. Insiders indicate that the Mini 6 Pro is being tested with native 6000 resolution capabilities. We are looking at uncropped 6K recording at 30 frames per second for clean, hyper-detailed master footage, with aggressive 60 FPS burst options for buttery-smooth slow-motion reframing in post-production. Imagine capturing wide landscape sweeps in absolute 6K resolution, giving you the freedom to punch in, crop, and stabilize your shots inside a standard 4K timeline without losing a sing. Le pixel of sharpness. For solo content creators, travel vloggers, and freelance filmmakers, that kind of versatility inside an ultralight package is an absolute game-changer. Of course, all these high-end imaging capabilities raise a massive engineering red flag: power. More pixels, larger sensors, and faster processing chips eat batteries alive. Historically, sub-250-gram drones have been handcuffed by strict weight limitations, forcing manufacturers to use smaller battery cells that max out around 30 minutes of real-world flight time, often much less if you are fighting heavy coastal winds or pushing aggressive throttle curves. Can DJI break that barrier? Rumors point directly toward a radical shift in battery chemistry. Industry analysts suggest that DJI is experimenting with silicon-anode battery technology for the Mini 6 Pro lineup. Silicon-anode cells offer a drastically higher energy density compared to traditional lithium-ion packs, meaning you can store significantly more milliamp hours into the exact same physical footprint and weight class. While some of the crazier internet chatter claims we might see up to 60 minutes of flight time, realistic industry engineering estimates pull that back to a more grounded, yet still staggering, 38 to 42 minutes of airtime. Let us be honest with each other, getting 40 minutes of actual, dependable flight time out of a sub-249-gram drone is massive. It means fewer battery swaps, less downtime on location, and the freedom to fly out further and capture complex tracking shots without constantly glancing down at a panic-inducing low battery warning. Speaking of complex tracking shots, safety and navigation are getting an equally massive overhaul. We have all experienced that split-second drop in stomach when an autonomous tracking mode loses a subject behind a cluster of trees or a concrete pillar. The current obstacle avoidance systems are great, but they rely heavily on standard visual spectrum sensors that struggle in low light or high-contrast glare. Leaked blueprints indicate that the Mini 6 Pro is stepping into the next generation of spatial awareness by integrating LiDAR-assisted navigation and predictive AI tracking algorithms. Imagine an omnidirectional nightscape LiDAR system pulsing invisible laser data outward, mapping out branches, power lines, and architectural hazards in complete pitch darkness. Paired with predictive tracking, the drone will no longer just react to where your subject is, it will calculate where your subject is going, predicting movement vectors behind obstacles and maintaining smooth, cinematic lock-on even if your target temporarily ducks out of sight. And how do you control a machine flying that far away with that much precision? Transmission. The leaks suggest an upgrade to an O5 transmission engine or an optimized O4 Plus protocol, pushing rock-solid, ultra-low latency feeds straight to your controller. We are talking about crystal-clear HD video feeds that refuse to stutter or drop frames, even when you are carving through dense urban canyons or flying deep behind natural ridges where signal interference usually destroys lesser drones. Now, we need to talk about the business side of things, because even if the hardware is a masterpiece, external forces could completely change how and where you get your hands on this drone. Especially if you are watching this from the United States. The regulatory environment surrounding DJI has grown increasingly complex over the past year. With ongoing scrutiny from federal legislators and DJI's placement on various restricted and covered lists, the American market faces unique hurdles. Industry watchers and trade analysts point out that even if the Mini 6 Pro is manufactured and ready for global launch, regulatory bottlenecks, compliance reviews, and potential import restrictions could delay its arrival in North American retail channels or, in a worst-case scenario, block official sales entirely. If you are a US-based creator, this is a critical factor to weigh. While international markets may see a standard rollout, American buyers might find themselves navigating supply constraints, gray market imports, or facing prolonged waiting periods. It is a frustrating reality, and one that forces many creators to ask, should I wait for a drone that might face regulatory delays, or should I invest in what is available right now? Let's address the timeline and pricing expectations so you can plan your budget accordingly. Looking at DJI's historical product lifecycles and iterative development cycles, a brand new Pro model in the sub-250-gram category generally follows a strict 2-year rhythm. Based on current supply chain telemetry, an official announcement or release window pointing toward late 2026 or early 2027 is the most realistic timeframe. Anyone telling you it is dropping next week is likely chasing clicks based on speculative AI-generated rumors. When it does eventually hit the shelves, pricing is projected to start right around $999 for the standalone base package, with the fully loaded Fly More combos featuring extra batteries, multi-charging hubs, and upgraded carrying gear pushing anywhere between $1,299 and $1,499. That is a serious investment. It places the Mini 6 Pro squarely in premium territory, matching or exceeding the price points of older mid-tier cinematic drones. So, let us bring it all together. What is the ultimate verdict? Is the DJI Mini 6 Pro worth putting your gear purchases on hold? If you are currently shooting on a Mini 4 Pro or even a Mini 5 Pro, your current gear is already a phenomenal, highly capable tool. It shoots gorgeous footage, fits in your pocket, and gets the job done for the vast majority of commercial and creative projects. The leap to a stack sensor, 6K resolution, and mechanical variable aperture is undeniably mouth-watering, but it is an incremental upgrade in storytelling power unless you specifically shoot in punishing low-light conditions or demand absolute manual exposure control without filters. However, if you are flying an older generation drone like a Mini 2 or Mini 3 and you have been waiting for that one generational leap that completely erases the performance gap between micro drones and heavy professional cinema platforms, the Mini 6 Pro is shaping up to be the exact machine you have been saving your money for. The combination of a 1-inch stack sensor, mechanical aperture, LiDAR tracking, and extended silicon-anode battery life means DJI is redefining what an ultralight aircraft can achieve.